first hear about it. Yeah, of course, I know I need to create content. I know that's super important. What is up? My name is Jeremy Fuse with Impact. Hi, my name is Jeremy Fuse, owner of Impact Real Estate out here in Gilbert, Arizona, and my goal is to help at least one of you guys watching this video scale their business. Okay, so what we're gonna talk about today is how to acquire a free lead, right? It sounds magical, it sounds amazing. It's more difficult than it might sound, but let's go through maybe some things that you could implement right now in your business to generate some traffic for free. And that is the goal of this video. Is we're gonna be going through a few things that we do on my team here at Impact Real Estate at EXP, how we generate just free leads and how we can get more people into our database and we can nurture those relationships and we can really start to do deals for zero cost. The only cost is our time. So let's go through it. Hang on, let me hit screen record right here on my tablet. Now you should have your tablet, my tablet, on your screen. Let's go through it, okay? The first thing I want to go through is what is your mindset around leads? When we're thinking about a lead, what does that even mean? Does that mean somebody that has come in and said, hey, I want to buy a house, or I want to sell a house, or I want to invest in real estate? Or is that a contact? What is that? How do we define that? How do we figure out what a lead actually is? So our goal right now through these few things that we're going to go through is really how do we have conversations with people at scale, and so we can eventually turn them into what we call a lead. So it's very difficult to stumble across somebody that says, yes, I'm looking to buy a house tomorrow. Typically it's going to be, oh yeah, I am looking to do something in the future, in the near future, not doing anything right now, but you never know. Those are your typical responses, right? So what we're trying to identify right now is what is our mindset around what a lead is. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go through these things and we are going to have conversations at scale and we're going to figure out where to place them, where to land them, where to put them into our system, how do we identify them, and what stage are they at in this process of transacting in real estate. You need to wrap your mind around what a lead actually is. So when you have a conversation with somebody and they are not interested in transacting in 6 to 12 months, then they are going to be a nurture, right? And so we're going to classify that as a contact, not necessarily a lead. But it is just as important as a lead because at some point, if you do your job correctly, then they will become a lead and they will transact and you will eventually earn a commission, right? And you'll be able to help them buy, sell, whatever it may be, transact in a real estate deal, and you will make money. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with number one, which is organic content, right? Sounds super easy, super simple, super basic, I understand. But content right now at scale is by far the number one way that you will generate business, okay? And it is one of the most complicated things when you first hear about it. Yeah, of course, I know I need to create content. I know that's super important. I just never know what to post. I never know what to do. I know that Instagram and TikTok and YouTube and Facebook are all these powerful tools, but I don't know what to do on them. It is one of the most popular things that I hear from agents, right? How do you generate content? How do you create content? And so the two that I would focus on right now is definitely Instagram Reels and TikTok. Okay, I would do that at scale. Short form content, vertical short form content for Instagram Reels and TikTok. Okay, and if you're questioning what kind of content do I create, the simple thing to do is go through all of your previous text conversations on your phone that you've had with friends, clients, whatever on this thing, and start identifying some of the questions that they've asked you. And you literally create a 60-second video answering that question. And you can do some cool things where you can screenshot the text and you can throw it up on the video if you want. You can subtitle it and you can invest money to making your videos a little more polished. But you, by any means, you do not need to do that, right? You just need to answer questions and you need to bring value to the audience that you have. I don't care if you have 1 follower, if you have 10,000 followers, bring value to your audience. Be entertaining, be charismatic, be yourself, because you will attract people by being authentically you, okay? That is I promise you. Be authentically you, hold nothing back, and bring value to your audience. Okay, so that's tip number one. Go through your phone, answer questions that people have asked you. Number two, go back through if you had a mentor, if you had some sort of like a teacher for real estate school that you had text conversations with, if you had somebody in your world that you had conversations with about getting your license, right? If you were like, well, what do I do? How do I generate leads? What does my schedule look like? Who am I supposed to be calling? If you've asked those questions, now you can go back and answer the questions that you actually asked somebody else 6 months ago. So this is how you can create content from conversations that you're already having on this thing. There's 1,000 questions in here, I promise, where you can go create content around it. And you can literally just hold up your phone, shoot a video, selfie style, answer the question, right? And you could say, so I was talking to a client yesterday and he asked me, what is earnest money? Let me explain to you what earnest money is. Right? And you create content, right? And if you can create at least one piece of content a day, like I would try to create 3 to 4 pieces of content a day, which takes some organization, it takes time, and it takes some determination and consistency to do it. It's very difficult. But if you can do it at scale, this will be an amazing way to generate free leads, right? And this is what you do. You take the engagement. So if you were to post a reel on Instagram and you had, let's say that you don't have a giant following, okay? And let's say your reel gets 15 likes. You can go through who liked it and see if they're in your, what I call your social sphere. Are you following them? They're following you? Do you engage? And then you can have conversations with them. So let's say John Doe liked your reel. Okay, so now we'll go to John Doe's page and I'll look at what he has in his stories, and then I'll slide into his DMs via stories and say, oh wow, that's a cool dog. I've always wanted to get one, or whatever, right? You just make some sort of comment about something in his stories, and then you have a conversation with him, right? So he saw your content about the housing market or whatever, some real estate related reel you made, and then you can go through the likes. You see John Doe liked it, so now you click on John Doe, you see his stories, now you start a conversation. So now you're starting to create this relationship. He engaged with you, now you're engaging with him, but now you're very intentional with pushing that relationship further, okay? And then you can say, hey, let's grab a cup of coffee. I'd love to get to know you more, or I'd love to catch up, or I'd love to educate you on what the housing market's like. I know it's a little crazy out there. Let me show you some data to show you exactly what's happening, whatever, right? You don't need to go for the throat and go for a real estate thing immediately. You can just build that relationship. The key here is you're building relationships. This is a contact. Then you can actually go for the throat and say, hey, I don't know if you ever thought about making a move, but I would love to help you if you ever need anything. Or the housing market's a little crazy. I don't know if you're following along, but I'd love to be of value, be of service to you if you ever thought about making a move in the near future, right? So then you can go for the throat, but now you're building a relationship. Okay, so organic content is by far going to be the easiest way to have conversations with people, but you have to do it at scale, okay? By that scale, I mean at least 1 post a day. Recommended more. Number 2, and this is gonna be a little tricky, this one is FSBOs, for sale by owners. These are people who literally have raised their hand and said, I am selling my house right now. It literally takes out the hardest part of our job, which is trying to find someone looking to transact in real estate, right? These people already have done that. They've raised their hand and said, I am selling. The tricky part is, how do we separate ourselves from the 20 other agents calling that FSBO on that day? That is the problem we have to solve. So you don't even have to be a dialer, someone who will get on the phone and call them. If you have some sort of call reluctancy and you don't want to call a FSBO because it's a very difficult conversation, you can separate yourself by shooting a video message. You can pull their listing up on Zillow. Say, hey John Doe, looking at your property right now on 123 Main Street. Was just curious if you've had any offers on that yet. Send that video, right? You will then separate yourself from anyone just calling them and trying to set an appointment based on the fact that this agent has a quote unquote buyer looking in that area. Then they set the appointment based on basically a lie, and now they have to try to flip the script on them, and the seller will get angry. Right? So anyways, there's a lot of different ways to approach FSBOs, but FSBOs they're a free way of saying, hey, I'm transacting, let's talk. How can I help you out here, right? And FSBOs are raising their hand, I'm done. You take out the hardest part of our job, which is identifying a fucking client. So if you were to call FSBOs, you can use Zillow, you can use Tidal, there's different tools you can use to generate a list for FSBOs, but I would recommend approaching it. You can start via text message, you can start knocking, you can start printing out CMAs and delivering them to their door, you can start sending video messages. There's tons of things that you can do to separate yourself from the mass majority who are actually just calling FSBOs. I would recommend calling them, right? You wanna have as many conversations as you can. You wanna hit them by phone call, knocking, in person, swing by, drop off a CMA, bring value to them. And what a lot of people don't do with FSBOs is, a FSBO is a nurture play. So we're currently in a market where homes are sitting, right? The market has turned, and so it's a little harder to sell a house. And so what we're seeing right now is FSBOs sitting on the market longer, so they're gonna get more frustrated because they thought they could sell their house, but really it's hard because we have an oversaturation of listings to the buyer demand. And so it's a great opportunity to have conversations with FSBOs every single week. Call them and ask them, hey, how was traffic? Did you have anyone come through? Why do you think your home's not selling? Is there anything that you think that could be done differently to get your home sold? Whatever, right? You have conversations with them, and over time, they will eventually break and say, dude, I need help selling my house. Can you help me out? Right? And it's a nurture game, but you have to do it like you have to bring so much value to that person that they understand, and you have to differentiate yourself from all the other realtors going after them. And that's the hard part with FSBOs. But it is a free way to generate leads because they're raising their hand. They're saying, hey, I'm selling, right? So don't ignore FSBOs. Really look at them. Shoot them a video message. Shoot them a text message. Separate yourself. Deliver value to them, and you will convert FSBOs. Okay, so number 3 is going to be Facebook groups. Okay, so I own a very large Facebook group, and the amount of conversations I have in there is incredible. Okay, so here's the thing with Facebook groups. It's a powerful tool, but you will have some trolls in there who will hate on you as well. Okay, so you might have to have some thick skin, and you might have to be able to read a comment and go, nah, I'm gonna ignore it, and I'm not gonna let it affect me. I'm just gonna keep on going, doing what I gotta do. But you can make a post in that Facebook group talking about whatever, right? You can just do it every week, stay consistent, market updates, things like you could advertise rent-to-own programs. That's a huge one. You could talk about what rental rates are, what renting at this price point will get you if you buy, all different types of things. But you're just gonna slowly almost drip on them, like a drip campaign in your CRM, where you just continually deliver value, and you will have people who will comment on that, and then once they comment, now you can have a real conversation. They showed you that they are interested, right? They showed you that they want to have a conversation around it, and so now you can drag out in the comments, and this is my rule of thumb, if anyone ever comments on something that you post on any platform, your response will always end in a question. Acknowledge what they said, and then you ask a question right back. You don't just hit period and then send it, and you're gonna end that conversation. Everything always ends in a question mark, so you can keep that conversation going as long as you can. Then you can eventually slide into the DMs, and you can start building that relationship. So let's say you don't own a Facebook group. There are definitely a ton of free Facebook groups in your area that are like buy, sell, trade groups, all types of things that you can spam with real estate info, and you will get people to engage with you. Okay, you can post your just solds, you can post your reviews, you can post market updates, you can post all kinds of real estate things, anything that you really want, and people will eventually engage with you. Facebook groups are a huge way. It's also super free, not just free, super free. You have access to it. So then what they will do is they will look at your profile on your actual personal Facebook page. If you're engaging from your personal Facebook page, they could click on you and actually check you out. And if you're active on social media, like I recommend, then they will see what you're all about. They'll see who you are. If you're married, if you got kids, if you're into sports, if you're into pottery, if you're into reading, like whatever, right? Whatever you talk about on socials, then they will get to know who you are, which will enhance the likelihood of them engaging with you, because they will choose to either like you or not like you, right? And if they like you, which is what we're going for, you won't win everybody, but if they like you, then there's a higher chance that they're going to engage with you, right? And if they engage with you, I shoot them a friend request immediately, and I put them in a custom friends list on Facebook, and now I can engage with them on a regular that's very intentional. So don't ignore Facebook groups. It's a huge avenue that you can advertise, so that you can market, not advertise, you can market to generate free leads. Okay, number 4 is going to be very simple. Ask your database. Okay, so first thing I would do is I would upload your entire phone, your contacts from your phone into a CRM. Okay, and then you go through one by one. You do something with every single person in your database, right? In your CRM, you do something with them. So you start at, hopefully it's ordered alphabetically. So you start at AA, Annie Abigail. You start there, and you do something with Annie Abigail. You either get her out of your system because it was your crazy ex-girlfriend that you never want to have a conversation with, so you trash them, or you text them, call them, or email them, right? You do something with them. You don't ignore people in your database. If you know that you will never reach out to them, just trash them. Trash them. Trash in, trash out. That's how a database works. So every single person that you put in your database, or every single person that's in there should be some sort of dialogue. Okay? So don't ignore the power of people who care about you wanting to help you succeed. Okay? I think this is a common thing where a new agent doesn't want to be the person that asks for help because they think they're going to be some sort of hindrance on the people that they love or the people that care about them. Like, ask them. They want to help you succeed. And if you don't ask them, now you are taking away the ability for someone who cares about you to help you. They want to help you. It makes them feel good. They want to. So ask them. So if you're in your CRM and you come across Annie Abigail, and this is someone who is a friend of a friend, you don't know them that well, text them and say, "Hey Annie, how are you? This is Jeremy Fust. I'm looking to be more intentional with my relationships this year. I just wanted to reach out and see how the heck you're doing." So you've reached out to him, right? You've reached out to Annie. Then you just have a conversation. Then you ask her to get coffee. Then You say, hey, if you ever need anything in real estate, I would love to be a resource for you. I just want the opportunity to win your business if that time comes. Or, hey, if you were to transact in real estate in the next couple of years, do you have a realtor that you would use? Very simple questions that you can ask. But when you fail to ask the people that care and love you, you are missing out on a golden opportunity. Use your socials, use Facebook, use Instagram stories, run polls on your Instagram stories. Hey, are you looking to buy a house in the next 12 months? Yes or no? People will say yes. You slide in the DMs. Hey, looks like you're trying to buy a house in the next 12 months. Is there any questions that I can help you answer right now? Or, hey, looks like you're trying to buy a house in the next 12 months. I would love to grab coffee with you and kind of educate you on what that process is. Hey, looks like you're trying to buy a house in the next 12 months. The studies show that 12 months is actually the right time to start getting ready to buy a house. Let's set you up with a lender, make sure that there's no speed bumps that we're going to hit on your credit, and let's get you going, right? Hey, looks like you're trying to buy a house in 12 months. Let's grab a drink and I can just kind of educate you on what the process looks like. Like, there's all kinds of different things you can say, and it's 100% free. And there's so many ways. And then every single person you talk to will go into your CRM. You will task yourself to follow up. You will set them up on some sort of drip campaign if that's what you deem necessary because you had that good of a real estate conversation. There's so many different things you can do, right? But you fail to ask the people that care and trust you, you're missing out on an incredible opportunity.